Billie Jean King and Pepper Persley are joining us on behalf of Dove and Sports ReIllustrated. How are you guys doing? Thanks so much for taking the time.
Oh, it's great. I'm here because Dove is committed for a long term. It's not just an in and out thing. And they found that 45% of girls drop out of sports because we're told we have a bad body type. That's unbelievable. Girls get such negative feedback. It's amazing. So I think they've reached 114 million girls or something, haven't they? Yeah. In 153 countries. They're trying to get to 250 million by the end of this decade. And so we'll see. But I like the long-term effect they're really like this. And they're trying to build confidence. And I'm so happy to be alive now and seeing all this starting to happen. And what do you think?
Yeah, I'm honored to be sitting next to you, and thank you for paving the way for things like this to be able to happen.
She's
now.
an
It's
icon.
Incredible. Yes.
No,
yeah.
it's fantastic, though. So we're really indebted to Dove because it's long term, not just in and out. And self-esteem is so important for every human being.
Well, you're part of the Dove Body Confident Collective. What made you want to get involved, and why do you think body confidence is so important?
Well, like I said
girls in
before,
sports?
it's long term. It's not something they're doing for 1 week. They've been doing this for quite a while now, and they're going to continue to do that because they know they're changing the lives of young girls to believe in themselves. And that's every human being should believe in themselves, no matter what, and it's important. So I love the fact Dove's behind it. They're owned by Unilever, which is a huge company. They can make a difference. So I'm thrilled to be here and listen to the people at Dove. I like to learn. I always ask them a lot of questions. But I like what they're trying to do with the self-esteem project, yeah.
Pepper, you're a pretty good basketball player.
I try.
What's your favorite part about playing basketball?
I think I love the fact that there's so much I can do to make an impact when I'm playing on the court, whether that's shooting, scoring for myself, finding my teammates, defense, rebounding. I think I love that there's so much that you can do in so many ways you can make an impact.
Do you play guard?
Yeah.
Bingo. I can tell by the way she talks. She's the captain. She's telling them what to do, which is great.
She's very impressive. She's got a lot going on. She's also dipping into broadcasting.
Yeah.
Billie Jean, for you, as someone who has always fought for equality in sports, what has been the hardest part of fighting for female athletes? How does this campaign help?
Well, the campaign helps because we've got girls who are going to stay in sports, which is really important, not just short term, but long term. In fact, we also know that as goes the mother's health in a family, the mothers, when they get older, goes the health of the family. Women have such an effect on so many things. We're probably half of the audience at the Super Bowl. We probably buy 85% of the merch. We are the buyers, and women have power and they don't know it, and it really gets me irritated. If we all just said we're not going to work for a day, women are not going to go to the Super Bowl, we're not going to go to this event, that's half of the audience. It's their revenues would go down like that. So women have power and they don't know it. And just like at the workplace, we're still behind. White women get about 82 cents, Asian women 90%. Hispanics take about a year and a half to get to the same, and it takes they're 2 years. Hispanics are the worst off. They're 2 years. Black women takes about a year and a half to make what the others are, and we don't make what men do. So that means we have less revenue. We have less revenue to spend on if we want to invest. That's why we're more careful as a group. I don't like it. I want us to be billionaires. I want us doing just what the
sound of that.
Just what the guys are doing.
Absolutely.
Why not? Investing in others. You can't make it without the investment of money, and the men's sports has had that forever. But Title IX, when it was passed in 1972, made a huge difference because that's the talent pool. When you talk about women's basketball, you talk about women's soccer, you talk about women's volleyball, you talk about all these different things, you would not be able to draft or do anything if you didn't have a pool of talent. And why do we have that? Because of Title IX.
Yeah.
So thank you, Title IX. When that was passed, classrooms probably, like if you want to be a doctor at Harvard, they only allowed 5% of the classroom to be women. Now, when I was in my 20s, I used to think, why don't we have more women doctors and lawyers? That's why. Because I'm pre-Title IX. I worked 2 jobs, went to college. Oh, you know what? I'm going back to college.
Oh, you are?
Really?
Yeah, I quit because I want to be #1 tennis player in the world.
Well, you did
But
that.
What are you going back to college for?
I want to finish.
Oh.
Like when you go to net to shake hands,
I
that
love
means
that.
you're finished.
I love that.
I like to finish. And
That's
so
awesome.
I'm going back. I majored in history. So I'm going back. So why not? I just think everybody should
That's awesome.
do whatever they want.
I
But
love that.
I want to finish. I'm very big on winning. Winning equals finishing.
Yeah.
So I want to, just like finishing, there's never a finish for women's sports to grow,
Yeah.
but we constantly want to improve it. Because I know the more we help women in sports, we're going to help the world be a better place.
Yeah.
Because women in sports grow up to be leaders, have self-confidence, and all the things you need in real life. And that's what it's really about.
You've paved the way for so many young women, which has been so incredible. And I got a young lady sitting right here next to me. Pepper, you are in this issue of
Yeah.
Sports ReIllustrated. Let's
Yeah.
take a look. How cool is this?
Yeah, it was
You got your own
amazing.
spread. What was it like to see yourself in Sports Illustrated and
Yeah.
partner with Dove?
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. I mean, to be a part of something like this means everything to me because being a girl in sports is the reason that I'm here today. I give so much of sports is the reason why I'm confident and the reason why I'm comfortable in front of a camera. So I'm grateful for that and for this opportunity. It's so cool.
So cool.
And the other 9 girls are amazing.
Of course I saw it.
so
I read it. I saw everything.
Okay, Billie Jean, you are obviously a sports icon. I want to know, how have you seen body image pressures change for young athletes over the years?
Well, I think it ties in what we're doing with Dove, but I think the women have to do it themselves. And the good but not so good things with NILs,
Yeah.
name, image, and likeness is colleges. I'm glad they're making money. But the women who sexualize themselves the most, like if you get into gymnastics and they do that, they tend to make the most money. It's back to our looks all the time. And it's really, really tough. You don't have to be the best looking guy to get some good commercials. So we have to get it so it's by our abilities, not just our looks. Looks always help with men or, all of us, all genders. But we got to stop this. It's about our looks because, there was 9 of us that started women's professional tennis. It was in 1970, and we're called the Original 9. And we had 3 things that it was our goals. That any girl born in this world, any girl, if she's good enough, would have a place to compete. Number 2, to be appreciated for our accomplishments, not only our looks, because looks always prevail, for women particularly. And then the third one was obviously to make a living in the sport we love,
Right.
tennis at that time. So I would say that's still a hard one.
Yeah.
And I don't know, what do you think? Do you notice that?
Yeah, no, I definitely noticed. I think not. I noticed in commercials for sure, and then I noticed like in my rec league, one of my teammates was really tall, and the ump wasn't willing to adjust the strike zone for her.
What?
Yeah,
Wow.
and my mom is our coach, and she went after him. But like, there's still things like that doesn't help a girl's confidence at all,
Right.
and I think
Yeah.
that needs to stop. Like even if we started at the grassroots level, if we stop it there, then once it gets to the big commercials and college coaches and professional coaches, then I think it will change. But no little league ump should be
That's a
that
perfect
way.
example.
Yeah.
That is a perfect example of what
Yeah.
girls go through every day. And we're in good health. We're not like people living with disabilities, some of us. Although I love the para-athletes, the Paralympics. It's huge now.
Yeah.
It's getting better and better. And I think that's really important. But everyone should have a chance. And not to change. I'm glad your mother got in there.
Yeah.
No, but we have to stick up for ourselves.
Of
and
course.
stop being negative, too.
Of course.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was going to ask you next, like, what challenges do you face when playing in sports, and how do you overcome them?
Yeah, I think I often find that adults get in the way of youth sports, whether it's refs, like focusing on, I don't know, whatever team it is, or coaches who aren't being considerate of the way that people learn. Like, it's the same as teachers, that everyone learns differently. Like, you can't coach people the same way. You can't just scream and curse at every girl and expect them to want to stay in sports and want to improve. So I think I've dealt with coaches like that, and I've seen girls close to me quit sports or stop playing their sport because of adults, and that I think should never happen. So I hate to see that, and I think that's definitely something that I want to stop, and I think Dove and Sports Illustrated is helping with that, because that should never happen.
How do we
It's
fix
true,
that?
because everyone learns differently.
Yeah, exactly.
Like when you know what I always ask a player when they come off when I've coached? I've done a lot of coaching people don't realize, but
Yeah.
I've done quite a bit. And I always say, why did you win? And the player looks at me like, why did I win? Yeah, why did you win? Because I want you to learn why you win, not when you lose. Players can go on and on when they lose.
Right.
They'll tell you 1,000 different things. And then I go, why did you win? And they just go blank. I said, you have to know why you win, because it'll help you in life.
Yeah.
It's about real life. All our sports teach us about real life and how to be resilient, how to think for ourselves, how to be agile in our thinking and the way we move. And there's so many great things we learn.
You've been in the sports world for a really long time. I want to know, what advice would you give to girls who feel self-conscious about their bodies playing sports?
I think one way is because they love the sport they're in. Just love it. If you love it a lot, you'll start to think about the important things, and you'll forget about, oh, how do I look, or how do I, because girls are taught all the time, if we don't look good, we got to look good, even
Right.
running down the field, woo, woo. No, just get so in love with what well, for tennis, it's the ball. Basketball, I love basketball. It's the ball, it's your teammates, it's where it is, the angles, the math, everything. Just do it because you love it, and you'll start to realize you don't care so much about the outer self. It's more about the inner self. And I think that can help people, but particularly women, girls, to really believe themselves. And I mean, I hate it when people don't believe in themselves, because everybody has something good about them. Everyone's, and they're good at something. So why did you win again? And they go, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, so I always ask when I'm introduced to an athlete. I play tennis. I go and I say, what's your best shot? I don't say what do you need to work on. A lot of coaches will say, what do you need to work on? Forget that. What's your best shot? Like, what do you do best in basketball? What do you need to? What shooting?
Shooting.
Yeah, bingo. I know. Now her brain's positive. She's thinking positively. She's seeing it positively. And that's what we have to do for everybody. The boys, I do the same thing. I go, what's your best shot? And they go, what? But then they usually can tell me, but they have to take a beat. They can't just go like that.
Yeah.
So it's really cute.
What was the moment in your career when you felt the most confident?
I always thought about staying in the process and the balls, one ball at a time, stay with the ball, stay on my side of the court. I think 72, I played unreal. That was probably one of my best years. Did everything right. We were also starting we're only in the second year of women's professional tennis. I was doing more off the court than I was on. But I made a very conscious decision when I was younger that I would win less if I was going to help change the sport. So I could have had more titles and more of that. Chris Everett and I talk. Do you know who Chris Everett is? I hope. Chrissy. She likes to be called Chrissy. I keep forgetting. And she always said, you would have had so many more titles if you hadn't been our leader and all that. And I go, yeah, but what if we didn't have what we have? And I always knew it was more important to me to make the tour viable and really successful. And I wanted them to make a lot of money so they'd have, when they retire, that they can really go do great things with their lives. I mean, Coco Gauff just made $4 million in 1 week about 2 months ago. I want that, but because she can do good things with that money. I wish I had their money, because I know I'd do with it. I'd invest in women's sports.
Yeah.
Because I don't need that much money. I'm not materially inclined, so I'm more like, what can we do to make people have a better life and all that. So it's really exciting, though, to see these new leagues, like the Women's Professional Hockey League just started January 1st, 2024. And we worked on that with others, obviously, for 4 or 5 years. And Kendall Coyne came to us and said, would you help? To Ilana Clausen. Ilana's my wife. So it's like, we looked at her like, huh? Because we don't have the money personally, but we went and found the money. Mark Walter came through, and he owns the whole league, which means everybody gets every team is really taking care of the same, which is good, especially when you start something. He's been amazing because he didn't have to do that. I mean, this is a really, really long-term investment. We're not talking a quick investment. This is something that, that Mark and Kimber, his wife, have been unbelievable. But Kendall Coyne's the one that came to us. She had to come and have the guts. But who told her to come to us? Angela Ruggiero, who is a superstar in the '98 Olympics and has worked in business to help women's sports as well. So all these things, and I met all of them at the Women's Sports Foundation Gala. And I wanted that to work because I wanted to be a networking as well for the athletes in different sports. But I care about women's sports, not just about tennis. But I love tennis. Has been unbelievable to me.
Kind of going back to that question about confidence, Pepper, when do you feel the most confident as an athlete?
I think I feel confident when I know that the people around me are confident in me. Because sometimes it's hard to find, I think, that confidence within yourself, but I know that my parents and my teammates and my coaches, my teachers and everyone around me, that it's in my support system, like I know that they have confidence in me, and sometimes that's enough to get me to be able to do whatever I need to do, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for stopping by, you two. We really appreciate it and
Thank you.
enjoyed this conversation as
Yeah,
well.
thank you so much.